Hi folks, welcome to the Horde. It's about 11 o'clock, 5:14, Tuesday, about 53 degrees. Door's been open for a little while, so that's really kind of the temperature. The sun drifted behind a cloud there, so my batteries right now aren't completely on. If the sun comes out from behind that cloud, before I finish this video, I'll show you how it goes instantly green. Anyway, back to working up here in my garage. Check that out. So we're back to Big Red. I rolled out the Red Rider and the Honda there. I'm disappointed. She didn't start on the first pull or the second pull, so I just rolled it out. I don't know why I copped a bit of an attitude. What I'm gonna do is I'll fire it up and take it for a ride in a few minutes. Also, the tires went a little flat, which is annoying. I really want that thing to be up and ready to roll. I don't want to have to futz with it. This one I just rolled out. It rolls easy. Alright, so what are we up to? I got to do a stator change on this thing. So I've rolled it onto its side. This looks like a piece of, oh god, cake. I'm going to have to take the peg off. The shifter, starter gears here. Right, and a few bolts going around here. So it doesn't look like a big deal. According to the book, it looks like a piece of cake. One thing kind of concerned me. I noticed what appears to be, I don't know, could you guys see it right here? This red stuff. To me that indicates somebody might have been poking around in there already. I don't like that. Now, what I did is before I changed the stator, I get the book. It costs $50 for the book. Here's where the book came from, by the way. Manuals to you. I got it within a few days. This was an eBay deal. Yeah, see, he's got a website and everything there. I think you guys could see that. So anyway, that's where the book came from. The coil came from eBay also. It was like 100 and, with shipping and all, I think it was 110, 115. It was under 100 and a quarter. All right. You guys remember from all this poking around that these are the readings. You take off this plug, that plug right there, and this wire right here. They're the ones that come out from the stator. You also have, this is for power. Those three yellow are for power. So those are the ones that come off the stator. So those are where you take the readings off. On this stator, I had 300 ohms, which is acceptable. This was off of one of my known goods, and that's what I got from the book. So 300 ohms is fine. This is what I got from reading this bike. 21.9 ohms. Known good was 119. And I just checked this one. I got 117. The book says, what is that, 50 to 200. So it's obvious that there's a pretty wide spread on this. Also, how accurate is my meter? As a matter of fact, my meter's reading it now. This meter, even when I ground out the lines, when I put the two of them together, it still reads like 3 or 4 ohms. So the meter, and it's a Harbor Freight meter. How accurate is it? The difference between an engineer and a physicist is physicists like exact reading. Engineers just need to be within a ballpark. And when I was studying physics at Potsdam, I had a Dr. Jaquili that was my physics professor, and he used to always yell at me because I would ballpark everything and call it good, and he was like, no, 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 no. And when it became time to move on to Clarkson for electrical engineering, he thought it was the best fit in the world for me because I was such an inaccurate physicist. Okay, so basically, before I ripped this whole thing apart, I wanted to make sure the coil I got was good. And as a matter of fact, I was poking around this reading. I was supposed to be getting 300. And if you read the book, you're supposed to go from, I don't know, could you guys see this? From the blue-yellow to the green-white. And unfortunately, that wire is not hooked up yet, so I kept getting an open circuit, and I'm like, those bastards sent me a shitty coil. But then I noticed once again that this thing isn't hooked up to anything yet, so I really can't make that reading until I put the whole thing together. So what did I do? I got a book and got the internet, got schematics, went through the whole wiring harness, figured out that I was getting a bad reading for my stator, the exciter pulse to be exact on the stator. So I figured that out. Now I'm about to go in and change the stator. Just to review, where did this bike come from? This bike came from Saratoga, New York. This was a road trip bike. It was $300. We'll debate whether or not it was worth that. I came in with a wiring harness issue. This is a wiring harness off of one of the bikes out back. This was from the Horde junkyard, this wiring harness. The wiring harness was hacked up. I was told the only thing wrong with it is that it needed a CDI. It did not have a CDI. This was missing. I dug up a CDI, plugged it in, tried it, no good. Went through the entire wiring harness, didn't like the way it was hacked up. Said the heck with this wiring harness. Got a good wiring harness, the one that I thought was good from the Horde. I installed it. So I installed the Horde wiring harness. Went through, checked everything out, got everything where I needed it. It wasn't sparking. Went through all of this for a second time, and I didn't know exactly what the exciter coil should be reading. I saw that 21.9. I said, oh, that's probably good. I just need continuity. It's not opened. But then when I went through back to the internet, and now that I have a book, I can see that it was quite a bit out of spec by 10x. So now I'm going in and changing that. And once again, to change that requires pulling the cover, changing it, and putting it back in. So I'll cut the video off here. And if I run across anything interesting, I mean, this should be monkey work, right? Bunch of bolts out. Take it apart. Maybe I'll shoot a few pictures or shoot a quick video of the inside, changing the stator, what the stator looks like, and then there'll be a third video probably of the whole thing put back together again and started. This kind of task, I mean, quite honestly, I don't think it should be all that difficult. I mean, it's a little harder than changing oil, but it's a lot less hard than redoing a transmission or rebuilding an engine. So I would consider this somewhere around, low to medium difficulty. So should one run into a stator problem, diagnosing it requires an ohm meter and a few moments with the book. The book, $50. I mean, obviously, if you buy the book and you buy a stator, right, let's say you have $200 invested. If you go to a shop, the shop's going to charge you at least the same money for the stator, if not more. And then he's going to charge you, I don't know, $100 an hour, give or take a little bit, give or take 25, all right, 75 to 100 and a quarter. Call it $100 an hour for a nice even number. You got to be looking at a couple of hours worth of work here to diagnose it, replace it, and put it back in. So this whole gig would probably be, call that 200 and 200 for this. you can do more or less a $400 job for $200 if you just slow down and take your time and do your work. And let's say it takes you 4 hours instead of 2 hours because you're a little slower at this. Let's say it even takes you 8 hours. Well, you divide 8 into 200, right? You're basically paying yourself $12.50 an hour, right? Which means to take home $12.50 an hour, you got to make like 15, 18. So it does pay to learn how to do this and to go through the trouble. All right, folks, live, love, and have a great time. We'll catch you on the next episode of The Horde. And in the meantime, try to keep your demons at bay.